Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the City of Glens Falls Common Council meeting. It's Tuesday, June 10th, 2025. We will open the regular session and call this meeting to order. The first agenda item we have is to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance led tonight by Councilwoman Diane Palmer. Sorry. I'd like to take a moment before we go to our public comment to ask for a moment of silence to honor the passing of our first ward councilman, Ed Donahue. Thank you. Now open the common council meeting to public comment. Just like to remind everyone, we've got a 3-minute limit to public comment. If you have like to address the common council, please come to the podium, tell us your name and your address. We'd love to hear your talk.
Good evening. Can you hear this? All right. Good evening, everyone. I think some of you may know me or may not know me. My name's Dan Donahue. I was Ed's son. It's been a very difficult time, and I just would like to potentially carry on, honor his wishes and be to at least carry out his term and whatnot. So, and I'm at 66 Walnut Street. I'm a lifelong East Ender. I've been there 39 years, my whole life. I know the neighborhood well. A lot of people reach out to me or my father with any issues. So I think I have a good rapport with a lot of the neighborhood, a lot of the people in the first ward. So, I'd be honored to fill this role. Thanks.
Anyone else?
Sean Palatino from 32 Peter Bend, and I spoke 2 weeks ago about the Friends of Crandon Public Library that happened a week and a half ago. And within 2 days, we sold 8,000 books. So I want to thank all of the community for helping to support the library. And here's to this fall in end of October for the next book sale.
Thank you.
Good evening, folks. I'm sorry to hear about Donahue's passing. He was a good man. I spoke to him often. My name's Charles Randall. I live at 24 Leonard Street, Glens Falls. I just wanted to touch base with you folks on the situation that's going on at 26 Leonard. I know we spoke last session. It's getting worse. We sent you folks some pictures of the property. It's getting out of control. Summer's coming. The people that moved in there, we've had to deal with Courtney on that particular property before. She's living there now. It's getting worse. I'm just asking you guys to help me out. I know we spoke the other day or last time I was here, and you said things are moving forward.
Come and see, right?
Yeah, I work a lot. I just can't take time off to come and see you all the time. I mean, I'm sorry. I work every day, so I pay a lot of money in taxes over there. I pay over $30,000 a year to live next to a crack house. Something needs to be changed. It's I'm at wit's end. I mean,
you were saying the other day that there's been 200 police calls over the past 4 years.
yes.
So what can we do as a council to take this property, which is clearly a big problem
The
and didn't deal with it.
the
Because
homeowner's in jail, so it's becoming a running amok.
it's,
Uh,
at a certain point, being ineffectual should not be the answer from the council.
Council has to say, this has to do with building, codes, and legal process.
200 calls to police
Okay?
over 4 years. Would you like that at your residence?
I have other neighbors here that live in the same area. Tim over there, and just walked in, and we're all, I don't want to be the only one here that's comes up and voices my opinion about it, but these folks are in the same situation that I'm in. That's why I've asked them to come today. Maybe they can say something if they don't want to say anything. But it's not just me, it's the whole community over there.
Sure.
So I'll leave you with that, and I hopefully I can get a chance to talk with you. And I've talked with Phil.
Time, day or night.
I've talked with Phil, Buildings and Grounds, or Buildings and Codes. Help me out, please. That's all I can say.
I've got an individual that's residing there now that was involved in that Union Street murder there, where they stabbed the guy with the drugs. He's there now. He sits out on the porch or on the swing, nodding out every day. I have 2 teenage boys that see him.
The drug use is, that's
They're not sick. They don't feel safe right now. My 13-year-old son, I caught him carrying a knife because Courtney, who's residing there now, threatened to stab him. And the restraining order's up now. They have no respect for anybody over there. They have no respect for the police. They're laughing right now. This has been going on for 12 years. I mean, what do we have to do? What do you want us to do?
This is public comment. They're,
There's 200 calls to the police over 4 years.
thank you.
all right.
What do we got?
Chuck, I've told you to come in. We've met with building and codes. We're meeting with the police department. We are taking action. We've taken action. Take every action that we can within the legal law. We're bringing them to court again and again, and we will address the problem. We are addressing. And you'd have more details if you had a chance, and I will meet with you at any time. I'll come to you, Chuck, when you get on work, if I can help.
All right.
I have met with the police department. I have met with building and codes, and we are taking every action within our action, or the extent of the law.
Okay.
There is nobody taking this not seriously. There is action to be done.
All right.
And I really shouldn't be doing this now, because this is not,
I
I want to make sure I'm not interrupting your public
I
comment.
understand.
Fair
And I will make a point to meet with you.
Anytime.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, anytime,
I know.
okay?
All right. Thank
Okay.
you, folks. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
So by you saying, come meet with me, you're not saying, let's address this in the open. So what I would like to know is what Chuck can do in terms of what we have for nuisance abatement, because I think 200 calls over 4 years is a nuisance. And I request you to bring that to council next meeting. There should be something.
I have no comment. This is not public comment. This is not on the agenda for our discussion. But you're welcome to come and meet with me too and get an update. I'm not going to debate with you right now.
No, you're not, because you told me that you don't want me talking to you off the record. Yes, you did.
Is there any other public comment?
Good evening. My name's Kevin Stevenson. I live at 150 Maple Street. Pretty good. How are you?
Very good.
I'm a candidate for First Ward Council member, and I want to briefly comment on Agenda 12.2 for today. I believe it's important to allow discussion when appointing residents to fill unexpired term vacancies in their respective wards. Doing so ensures that all qualified candidates receive full and fair consideration before a vote is taken. And for later today, I just look forward to learning more about the process in tonight's meeting.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Hello, Diane Collins, Glens Falls resident. I was at the debate, the mayor debate, and I was disappointed the climate crisis wasn't addressed. And then on the way home, I thought, well, I could have spoken to Bill and gone right to his office, that I didn't do. So I'm using this opportunity to share what we would have talked about. When we look outside our windows every day, we see a world that is basically stable. And even when we hear a lot about extreme weather, see horrible news about wildfires, droughts, and heat waves that kill people all around the world, we still reoriented our emotional expectations as to what the world will be like in our own lives. And most of our lives have not yet been dramatically disturbed by climate change. Yet, today we see a small disturbance with Canadian wildfires causing declining air quality across New York. There is more to come. Last year, Warren County signed a contract with CDTA, Capital District Transportation Authority, for $500,000 to $1 million a year. That cost. Their core document emphasized the need to bolster transit service. Ethan Gaddy, Warren County planner, told me that more CDTA bus use had the potential to be the most effective climate warming action undertaken in Warren County. I still see our revamped buses with very few riders. No marketing for bus use, no excitement about partnering with CDTA. Part of your recent debate last week between your two folks for mayor in our wonderful city focused on our parking needs, an ever-recurring issue in Glens Falls. This can no longer be a business as usual public concern. There was no mention of climate warming, no mention of what we will be facing in the future. Glens Falls needs to be working with CDTA to increase public transportation options, asking more of CDTA to help with solutions for our next generation, leading the public to understand how we are damaging the environment with our car use. The answers are there, but not in extra parking spaces. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a copy for the record.
Hi, my name is Kim Wright and I live at 19 Leonard. I've lived there since 2006. Single parent raising my daughter who is currently 18 and not enjoying life being outside of our house, which is really sad. We live on the bike trail, many people going up and down Leonard Street and dealing with this house across the street. And it's just not fair. It's not fair to people who have to be exposed to what this house looks like. Glens Falls keeps raising my taxes, keeps raising my assessment, saying it's increased in value. How does it increase in value when that's what we look at? Thank you.
Thank you. Not seeing any other public comment. We have a report from our controller, Mark Powers. Speak about the fiscal year 2024 highlights.
Good evening. Mark Powers. It's kind of hard to hear back there.
Yeah, it's the mic is not nearly close enough, and if you watch it on YouTube, you can't hear it.
So I should speak loud.
So speak loud, grab the mic.
So it's been an interesting year, my first year. And thank you for Suzanne Kestich is still here, still helping me out. We're currently going through the audit. I want to make sure that everybody understands these are unaudited numbers. I put a packet in each one of the boards or council's mailbox. This is a summary of the 2024 summary. But here again, these are unaudited operation notes. Okay. So the 2024 revenues were 31,400,000 $482,936. Operating costs are $31,306,204. Other encumbrances that include with that are about 143,000. So our estimated, again, just estimated, increase to our fund balance is going to be about 32,981. In those numbers, it's important to note that we did pay for a $831,000 fire truck, which came right out of fund balance. So we did that without even using any ARPA funds, which we, you could add if you wanted to say operating versus long-term expenditures, we could put that back in. But we have the fire truck. The water fund earned about $3,065,710. Of that, we spent $2,673,242. So my estimated fund increase on that is going to be about $392,000. Sewer fund, the revenues on that, I'm estimating to be about $9,284,000. The operating costs on that should be about $8,146,000, which we are probably estimating around a fund increase on that as well, about $1,137,000. So I think that we had pretty strong operating results. Here again, it's, if we're in the middle of our audit, the audit comes out on September 30th. Is when it's due, which will actually give us a better idea of what the audited numbers are.
12/31.
Yes, is at 12/31/2024. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
In the budget process, we don't tend to reconcile what was in the projected budget from the year prior to what the actuals are as the actuals come through. We get presented with the audit, which doesn't provide us that level of detail.
So the audit's not going to audit our projections, right? Because the budget process is really a forecasting.
So one of the problems I have with our budget process is that we have gotten further and further away from what our actuals are. And because I can't go and reconcile those to the figures, because I don't have any breadcrumbs to do that, to what was projected from the prior year, then I can't go and see what the trends are.
That's an interesting point. So unfortunately, right, we come to the council bi-monthly, and we change the budget for projections and so forth. I'm
not getting a bi-monthly report.
Well, so I don't have the resources to provide that either. I'm saying the resolutions that we pass, you must understand, you are changing the budget often.
But I don't have any breadcrumbs to connect that to what I actually approved for the budget. I'm just seeing stuff in the warrant that doesn't connect to that.
So we approve a budget on the initial onset of the budgeting process. And then what often happens is we come with resolutions, which I believe we'll probably do tonight, and I haven't seen those resolutions, which then will say, hey, controller, change the budget for this, change the budget for that. So it really is a moving target, and it probably should be, right? So as people come to the council and make requests, we try to adopt that into our budget. So it becomes, so what you're looking for is a ceteris paribus, I think is the Latin word, keep everything constant, but it is a living document.
What I'm asking for is when we're looking at the warrant, that we know what particular place that it's budgeted under, so that I can see the budget as it's going on, so that a certain department is exceeding what they were budgeted for, and that we're not moving things around because that are outside of what the budgeting process was.
Absolutely, and I understand your concern. And I think that that this is part of our finance. It should be a part of our
I
finance.
haven't had any meetings, so.
Well, we haven't. It's been a very busy season. So we're planning on a meeting within a few weeks. Let me just talk to the finance committee. We'll get together. Where there's several things I want to hit on that agenda. I think it's a very important meeting. Things including budgeting process, getting our, because right now we got to get our mid-year results in. We have to get our department heads together and start thinking about budgeting. We also are going to need to talk about other things like investing and setting up concerns that the council may have. So I don't disagree. And I'm willing to entertain a better way of reporting some of these things so you get better tracking.
Can I have something to suggest? Sure. One of the, because I've started to meet with Chip and I started to meet with department heads to look at where we are as of June 1st, just so we can be prepared, make sure that everybody's on target so far. And it's not mid-year, it's close enough to at least start looking. And if what we can do is just take the original budget that's passed in November of each year and keep that number and have it in any reporting document so that you just hold on to it. And then continue to change the budget. So like, we have CHIPS money, our highway. We have a budget that we prepare in November, but we don't know how much the state's going to give us that money until April. So that's one simple example where that budget's going to change in April when the state tells us how much the city actually gets. But if we can keep that original number, we just
can do
put
that.
it aside.
The projected still is there and the actual is there, but there's no connection between the two. There's like, oh, there's this, but we don't really know exactly how this fit into all of the different things that we went through and said, here's 14 departments. We don't have those 14 departments on what was actually spent. We have a series of different budget lines, but we don't do the budgeting by budget lines. We do the budgeting by departments. So what I want to have is the departments have a piece in all of these warrants so that we know what we're spending. Because otherwise, I feel like we're not doing our fiduciary responsibility.
Okay. And here again, we can respond to your concerns. If you got an outline in mind on how you'd like to see things, if you just send that to me, we'll try to address it. Okay. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've asked for this ever since I've been on council.
How long has that been, Ben?
It's
Been two.
coming on
4. Any other concerns or questions?
So Mark, are you going to schedule a finance meeting or is it council?
I'm going to reach out to you. I probably.
When are you thinking?
James, Jim, I'm available anytime, so I'll clear. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let Bob.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for
They're on the finance.
Well, I would think it would be
Well, I'm sure you'll find out.
Next up on committee reports, Councilman Clark,
No reports.
Councilman Lance.
Just one quick one, the task force on City Park Days, we met this third week of May, had a productive meeting, and we'll be having another meeting in June to get an update on what we apply for, and also talk about where we're going.
Thank you. Committee report, Councilman Palmer,
I have no report. Okay.
Councilman Lap,
the technology committee met on June 2nd. And We discussed the market center cameras, those were in progress at that time, and they're completed now. Civic gov domain is still in transit. That's changing the city of Glens Falls domain, which is you have to do under state law. We're continuing to work with Storage Tech for multi-factor authentication for VPN. There's a couple of other things that was Orbital Fire wanted to make sure that we're members of Water ISACS, which is for security updates, and we're not. So I asked Bill Norton to look into that. We should be on that. That provides us security alerts for, which is why we didn't get a security alert about water and wastewater systems a couple of months ago, because we're not on the list. We are on an ISACS list for regular government, but not for water and sewer. In addition to that, Orbital Fire has had to us for a while something for a proposal for doing hardware configurations and risk analysis, and we need to do that. That is part of state law to respond to that. So I sent an email about that. I haven't heard anything back from anybody, but that's kind of like how emails go with me. The C-Click Fix update should be rolling out. I've heard that that's waiting on legal, and there's something with the policy that needs to be finalized. There feature from Storage Tech that the boss of the person who does that, so it's kind of going back to square one. The police had a issue where they had a piece of software they were interested in showing, so we've scheduled that for the next meeting, and we should want to do some look into incident response tabletop exercises. That's another one where if it's not a best practice for municipalities, it will be very soon. So we might as well get ahead on that one. And that's pretty much what we had. And that's what I have for video.
Thank you. We move on, Councilman Good. So the next on the agenda, I want to thank Councilman Landry. I'd like to ask you, if you're a crossing guard, please come to the council, come to the podium. I want to recognize we have a mayoral proclamation for you. If you please would come, because we do appreciate you being here. And I will, as soon as I'm done reading this, I'd love to get a quick picture. We've got some goodie bags that we'd like to give you. It's like to take the opportunity to recognize all of you. So whereas the city of Glens Falls, New York is home to many hundreds of school-age children and teenagers, safety and well-being is fundamental. And whereas each school day, regardless of the weather, our loyal city school crossing guards ensure the safety of our children and families as they arrive to and depart from our city schools. And whereas the city of Glens Falls prioritizes public safety and the significant role these good people play to ensure the protection of our children, as evidenced by their service, responsibility, professionalism, and is demonstrated daily while they provide this essential public safety service for our community. We now wish to acknowledge and praise the city crossing guards for their diligent efforts to protect our children and, by extension, our families. Therefore, now it be resolved that I, William Collins, Mayor of the City of Glens Falls, New York, in concert with the Common Council, hereby declare Tuesday, June 10th, 2025, as Glens Falls Schools Crossing Guard Day. Thank you very much. Without being a politician, if I can ask you to stand right there, I'll come out, we'll get some photos and give you some gifts.
Just before you do it, because I just like to comment, I made this comment last year. These are the most important people we have working for the city of Glens Falls. We have 2,000 individuals who get out of bed in the morning and need walk kids to school or walk grandkids to school, or whatever it may be. And they get there safely. And believe me, I'm one of them. And you guys do a great job because we have to be kept in tow too. You know, the adults are sometimes a little worse than the kids. But you do that every single day. Besides that, when people see you, you're the ambassador for the city of Glens Falls. This is when people look out, just like they say, wow, they cleaned my street, wow, they plowed my street. When they see you every single day, they know that the kids are safe. They know that you're a good ambassador for the city, and that our police department is everything that we say. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Like this, just wait just a second. So y'all couldn't be here tonight. I do know that the schools recognize you today too. We asked you to do that. But I'd just like to read the list of names of the people who are our school trustee. James Farrell, Roberta Field, Joyce Pasco, Angela Mechanic, Fred Pettis, Linton Plant, Edgar Robbins, Mark Bogarelli, Christine Cutsville Signor, William Terrio, Susan Stone, Sharon Point, Reginald Kobe, James Carpedino, Ashley Cayazzo, and Mike Davis. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Bob.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Take care.
Wonderful, take care of this case.
Okay.
It's not even a problem. When they say they love you, they mean it.
Thank you.
That's.
Under our consent agenda, tonight we have items to address. There's 7.1 through 7.9 under consent agenda. Are there any questions or comments about any of these items that council would like to discuss?
That's bring it to agenda.
Yeah, just the consent agenda, the regular item.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Not hearing
I'm
any.
just, I haven't had a chance to see the encroachment permit. And we've had a regular issue with encroachment permits. So I just wanted, it's very hard to go through this. So we have one that says that the building and codes department is going to perform all inspections.
Council Lappin, you got these 5 days ago. Did you want us to pull one that you have concern with?
I just would like to look at what the encroachment permit is. I've been looking at a bunch of things from this.
Okay.
So this is one of those things that I know, like, for instance, I went to the farmer's market and the ProAg is not being followed approaching from the north. I sent something to you on that on the weekend. I haven't heard anything back. So this is why I'm saying I'd like to take a look at the encroachment permit.
Sure.
Sorry, you suggested tabling this?
I'm looking through this because I don't trust the way the process.
Okay, I was just asking a question.
Okay, well, I answered your question, I believe.
Yeah, we sure did.
Okay, I think I'm fine.
Thank you. 7.1 is consent agenda approval of the 5/27/25 common council meeting minutes. 7.2 is approval of the clerk's monthly PBV report. 7.3 is the approval of the controller's office manual check payment report. 7.4 is the approval of community development manual payments for $10,678.47. 7.5 is consent agenda approval for the side dining permit renewals. 7.6 was the approval of mobile food licensing applications. Number 126 through dash 2025 through 130 dash 2025. Consent 7.7, approval of the encroachment permits number 37, 2025 through 39, 2025. 7.8 is the approval of encroachment permits number 40, 2025. And 7.9 is consent agenda approval of the warrant. Do we have a motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Under the regular agenda item, Councilwoman Gooden has requested to hold 12.2, which is the appointment of a council, the replacement of the appointment of the first ward councilman. So we'll hold that till last for discussion. Is there any other items under our regular agenda that the council would, we'll just go in community development first? 8.1, 8.2, any question? Not hearing any. 8.1 is an approval of access to home assistance project, access number -01, in the amount not to exceed $22,000. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 8.2, approval of access to home assistance project number access -02 in the amount of $22,000. Is there any?
So moved.
We have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Under the police department, we've got two motions. Any questions? 9.1 is the approve the receipt of $4,364.83 from the Warren County DA as equitable sharing payment regarding criminal proceeds forfeiture. We have a motion.
So moved.
Second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 9.2 is approval of the receipt of $2.50 from Firefly IT Asset Recovery. We have a motion.
So moved.
Second. Favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 10, the Department of Public Works is two motions. Any questions? Submitted by the DPW. 10.1 is the approval of amendment council resolution number 182 passed on May 27, 2025 to correct placement of funds into the wrong account, the amount of $2,336.45. That increase is a decrease of A 11490-2200 equipment, an increase A 67110-4359 parks and non-motor vehicle equipment.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 10.2, an accepted insurance recovery payment in the amount of $6,468.45 for a damaged light post.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 11 is under the Economic Development Office. We have one motion. Any questions? 11.1, approval to enter into a contract with Amy Fitzgerald Planning in the amount of $9,800 for services related to the city's climate action plan. Furthermore, to contact Start Tech in support of the city's fleet efficiency policy and the integration of CAP elements into the comprehensive plan in the amount of $13,754, both to be paid from the Climate Smart Communities Grant Project.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Under the mayor's office, again, 12.2 has been pulled, but 12.1, any questions?
I'm just curious as to what it means to be recognition of vacancy, if there's anything.
Sure, there's just a legal need from the Board of Elections to recognize the vacancy, which is the passing of Ed. Could have been something else, but we had to have two resolutions separately, one to recognize the vacancy and another to approve.
Okay, yeah, so I don't have a problem as well.
Thank you. 12.1 is the approval of the recognition of the vacancy for First Ward Councilperson seat effective June 1st, 2025.
So moved. The heavy.
Second. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Go to 13, it's in the engineering department. Number 13, 13.1, any questions?
Do we have the updated list for the sidewalk and accessibility improvements?
Yes, there's no changes from the last meeting presented to the list, but I can have it. It's also available on our, I believe, on our website and through our link. Said I was here, so I'll make sure you get a copy of that. Just no changes since when Jeremy came.
There were I think when Jeremy came though, there were council people were given like a chance to add things to the list, so it was nothing added to the list. Okay.
None other than were made that night. I believe he was able to do it, but I will. I would assume also the list is here in the packet, but let me get you that and send it to you right away. The bid, the contract attached.
My packet stopped to the three that was for
It's just the bid.
So I'll make sure. I'll make sure you get it right away. Okay, then?
Yeah.
So
We have a motion to 13.1. We have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Hold on 1 second. Make it. Great. Under 12.2, Mary?
Yes, I just wanted to go out and get a statement. That's really open up to the council. I'd like to praise Ed Donahue, first of all, for his work on the common council, his dedication to this part-time position, and express our sorrow to his wife, to his widow Colleen, and his son Daniel, who are here with us tonight. Ed was a great guy who loved his ward and his city. I'm sad for his constituents. The resolution full purpose, that I told this purpose was that we move to approve Daniel Donahue to his late father's seat. Dan is a native of the First Ward, but he also has served for years in finance, working at the Warren County Comptroller's Office. Dan knows government, he knows First Ward and their needs better than most people. He's lived their generation. And it was his father's last wish that anything happens to him, he wanted his son to fulfill his seat if need be. So I guess that means that this resolution fulfills one of his final wishes. But I do want to hear what anyone has.
I would just like to point out that Kevin Stevenson is also here today.
Right.
And Kevin has gone through the work of actually going and knocking on doors and getting signatures to be on the Democratic ballot. And that was, and Dan, which is like, you know, you might be a great guy, but you are not a Democrat. And because Jack Diamond put your name forward, you're going to be on the ballot to replace your father. To me, that's not how democracy works. Democracy works that you go and you go for a position and then you get elected to it. This is taking somebody because they're the son of somebody to fill a position leaves a very bad taste in my mouth. And I think that we have an opportunity in 2 weeks to have a primary election and we shouldn't be tainting that with somebody is going to be the presumptive filler of a position. And I don't think there's any reason to race to this. Ed passed away this on June 1st. It is June 10th right now. The race to fill this position does not fit with what is actually the proper thing to do from a democracy point of view.
I have some comments too. I emailed you, Mayor Collins, and I never heard back. Did you get my email?
It wasn't my motion, Mary's made a motion, Diana. I got Kevin's, before I had a chance, Kevin sent his resume as well. We knew we'd have public discussion.
Okay, so I just want to know that I did email you ahead of time.
Well, sure.
But can I make, I just want to make the comments I want to make. My email was not about any of the candidates specifically. I just remembered that both Mayor Collins and I were common council members when a similar situation occurred. When I first took office, Matt McDonald, Fifth Ward Supervisor, resigned his position, and we needed to fill a vacancy. So Mayor Dan Hall asked for resumes. We got 3 resumes from 3 different community members. The council had a workshop and we interviewed each candidate. We then had each candidate come to the following council meeting and kind of make a pitch, and then we voted. And so I had asked Mayor Collins if we were going to do something similar, just because I think that seems like a fair thing to do. Just hear from all the interested parties and then make a decision. And to me, that seems like a good practice, just for openness, transparency, and to allow us to learn about the people who are interested to serve in that position.
Thank you.
Ed Diane's son is actually continuing on the same day as father. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's his dad. It has nothing to do with
Well,
I'm speaking qualifications of individuals. And I think we're following the chart of the way we were, and there have been other instances. We have a mayor who dropped it, if you remember. So every time we have this, we've done this thing a little differently. So not sure what the right way is, wrong way is. This thing is so tainted with politics, it stinks. And I think it's an offense to the family who's sitting there. So I can tell you right now, in that you will have my vote to be the next person to sit in that seat as the first ordinance.
So when we circulate petitions for, and we have the right to circulate petitions for other candidates, on the top of that petition is a vacancy committee. And when something like this happens, unfortunately, that committee is put in place to appoint somebody to fill that spot. That's what happened.
I heard that.
That's what happened. And was filed with the Board of Elections.
I thought
That's what happened and was filed with the Board of Elections. There was a committee of vacancy. Those people got together. They filled out the proper paperwork and was filed at the Board of Elections.
The Board of Elections told me that it was Jack Diamond, and they sent me the thing. I can read it to you.
Wait, let me.
I can read it to you.
Let's, everybody had a chance to speak. We're listening.
Now we're doing the thing too, where you're saying we're all done speaking now.
I'm not, I'm just saying, you don't have the floor. If you want to wait until somebody's done speaking, then speak. Okay? We're in discussion. And it seems like you're upset.
Yeah, I am upset because something's happening that stinks.
So I will ask you to maintain some decorum in this council meeting. So Councilman Clark, is that, did you finish? I just want to make sure.
And as Councilman Landry said, when God rest his soul, Mayor Akins passed away, and Jack became mayor, he appointed Dan Hall. and the council approved it. It's been done many different ways. There is nothing set in stone. We've done interviews. We've had people come up, just like Mr. Stevenson came up, Dan came up. They said express their interest. I read Mr. Stevenson's resume and his cover letter, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate who run it. I think it's important. So, but I think we have an opportunity here, and whatever candidate is put forward, and we'll see what happens by a vote.
I just want to clarify, my comments are not intended to be political in any way as much as it's consistent with what I often talk about. I just think that having a process where we do our homework, get some information, and make an informed decision is in the interest of the residents of the first ward and of the city. It's not intended to be in any way a slight to Ed's family. If by any means, I'm not speaking about any individual candidates. I just appreciate an open, transparent process where we conduct interviews, and that would be my preference.
I would say this right now is that if Dan were going to collect signatures to run as a Democrat in Ward 1, he would not be eligible to run for that position because it was a registered Democrat or registered Republican at the time when that is set. So on February 14th, he was a registered Republican. So the way that this is happening, going to a primary, is he has the benefit of filling in a position. And I can read this to you, Councilman Clark, because you said that you had a number of things that you were saying, and I'm just going to prove to you where I was correct.
I'm sure you.
With the death of a candidate that has filed either a designated position or an independent petition, election law 6, section 116 states the committee to fill vacancies will file a certificate of substitution within 10 days of the date of the death, which is Wednesday 11th, 3 days from early voting. If the candidate is not a member of the party, election law 6/120 sub 3 states that members of the committee representing the political subdivision, Glens Falls Ward 1, must file an authorization for the new candidate. Daniel Donahue, being the presumptive candidate, has filed a party enrollment change after the cutoff date of February 14th to Democrat, which will now take effect after the primary. With the passing of Ed Donahue, Jack Diamond is the only current Glens Falls Ward 1 committee member and will be the one signing the authorization form to be filed with the substitution form. So that's exactly what I said.
Does he only have one member of the committee?
I just
want to make sure you were finished.
I'm just saying that this is something that is like, we have somebody who's going to be running as a Democrat. I don't know why we're running to fill the seat. We could just put this off until after the election. There's no rush to do this.
Barry, you have a motion?
I move the table.
Right, one at a time. Mary has a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Yes.
I'll second it.
We have a motion, we have a second. Do we want to go to roll call vote since? Yeah. So, roll call vote.
Just to make it clear what the motion is in this.
Approval of the appointment of City of Glens Falls First Ward resident to fill the unexpired term of the City of Glens Falls First Ward Councilperson Edward Donahue, passed June 24th. Motion to appoint Daniel Donahue to this position until December 31st, 2025. Motion, a second. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm going to abstain.
No.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Old business, Councilman Clark,
I have none.
Councilman Lamb.
Just one thing, and I've asked about this before, but we can't do it in what you asked. I asked if in encroachment, because for restrooms that put tables out there, we can include something in regards to smoking. I don't know if that's gonna go back to the building and program.
Yeah, so I met with PJ. We're gonna try to draw a change into that, into the encroachment permit process.
So it'd be maybe for it.
I mean, if we just prosecute the law that's on the books, we don't need to include it.
I think expertise always.
Councilwoman Palmer, old business.
Yes, we were talking about budget and stuff, and so it prompted my memory that I had asked for an update. I sent an email on May 5th asking about the rate survey study for our water and sewer rate. For people who don't know what I'm referring to, we had the council had wanted to do a study to look at the way that we bill people for water and sewer, just to see is this the best way, is there a better way? And we had done a study, but it didn't give us the results we really wanted, so we were going to follow up with another one. And I know that months ago you said that that was underway, and then like I said, on May 5th, I emailed you and asked for an update. I haven't heard back, so just curious if that work has happened or where we are, what the status is.
I don't think the final has been approved, but I'm going to ask Bill Norton to come and discuss the water and sewer, to give us an update on the finalization of the electrical repairs that started at the end of the year as well. And so I'll ask him to bring the study, the first one that was done that I know I sent it, but still, and the second one where we are. We may be actually just finishing. It may have finished it up in the last month. I will make sure we get it and have them come to the board. Okay?
That would be great.
Thank you. Thank you.
I know that we talked about this the last couple of meetings and you told me you'd get back to me. Just wondering if you ever got the answer about the parking to get there.
Yes, it's great. So I did, at May 8th, Glens Falls High School made a call to the city hall, or excuse me, to the police department to issue tickets to students that had been illegally parked on the school building and adjacent streets. And in the ticket, traffic control officer showed up and did issue those tickets, but then went and issued tickets for not just the violations that they were like parking in